Hi guys, okay, here's my personal learning for the day that I wanted to share because I just experienced it right away this morning. So first, we didn't have support or help on Monday or Tuesday with Augie, which was great. All of you parents out there that are making this happen, I was just talking to my friend Nick. I was like, oh my gosh, all of you parents that are doing this with no support or help and working, like both parents working full time, holy smokes, okay, crazy. So Monday and Tuesday was a little bit challenging, and then Tuesday night I said to Jason, I'm like, oh my, I've got to apologize to Augie, I've got to apologize to these dogs. I was like, my tolerance was super like short, right? It was just like, do you guys ever feel that way? There is like so much to do, not enough time to do it. So then I stay up until 2:30 in the morning because my personality just does not go to bed until it's checked off the list, which means I will only get 4 hours of sleep. But then can you imagine why I stayed at being the next day, right? It's not super tolerant. All right, then, you know, Hawk was just like, he's an awesome kid and he's doing really great in his like homeschooling. But Lauren, my friend, is like homeschooling him. And of course, when your kid is not with you, it's always like, oh my gosh, when they're with so-and-so, they're so great, right? So then Wednesday and Thursday, it was just still a little bit like he'd go in and out and on and off of his like, you know, I don't know, 4-year-old menopause moments, okay, which is probably natural. So yesterday, I was like, okay, so we just had a lot of long talks for Augie. That's like a minute and a half. Let's be real, okay? I was like, we just talked about being joyful and happy, and he's just like, I don't know. He goes, I just don't think I can do it, Mom. I was like, okay, what is happening here? What? Like, there's probably a learning within me. Is it just the way that he's born? I'm very clear that you guys, kids are just come in with a certain personality. It is maybe not your personality. I'm really clear on what his personality is, and now we're working with like, how do you motivate him and support him in his own personality characteristics? So here's the conversation I had with him this morning, right? Right away this morning, Jason and I are like, oh, like he is the biggest lollydagger. It's almost if you're like, okay, pal, let's get ready for school, okay? Let's go, you go ahead and go get your shorts. This is what he does, you guys. He crawls back in bed and he's like, oh, it's so interesting to observe. We look at each other and we crack up. We're like, he is literally doing the exact opposite of what we just said, okay? So Jason's like, I'm out. Jason's like, so we're in the yoga room and Augie and I are having a conversation. I was like, okay. First of all, he wants a toy. That's how we start. Mom, what? Can I get a toy? I'm like, well, like, how do you think, what did you do this week to earn a toy, right? Or what did you do this month? I'm like, we're not big toy purchasers for him. But I'm like, okay, now I'm going to use this, right? So Friday nights, sometimes we have movie night, or once a week, we're even like in quarantine, you guys, once a week we're going out to dinner. I'm like, okay, these are the things that I'm doing anyway, you guys. I'm like, oh, I'm going to make sure like, I'm going to make good use of this. So tonight would be movie night, right? So, but he asked for a toy. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll go with it. I'm like, okay, so what do you think that you've done this week to earn a toy? I don't know, he's like, he doesn't really come up with anything, okay? So I say, so let's talk about being happy and joyful. Now, I'll talk in 2 seconds, you guys, about the difference between happiness and joyful with adults. But at 4 years old, I'm like, I'll take either one. Does that make sense? So I'm like, okay, are you feeling like you're really happy and joyful? He's like, oh my gosh, you guys, it was so sad. He just starts crying. He goes, I just don't know if I know how to do it. And I'm like, okay, so he's born this way, right? Like there's probably some work there for me to work through with him. I'm like, well, let's practice today, okay? So we just came up with some things like if you're not feeling happy, you're not feeling joyful throughout the day, what are some things that you might need, or what are some things that might support you? Okay, so the 4 things we came up with is what was the first thing? He says a snuggle. I'm like, absolutely. If you're feeling like you're not happy or joyful and you need a snuggle, then you get a snuggle. Now, I'm clear that this could backfire because that means he could sit on my lap for a full day of work and he could want to snuggle for a full day of work. So it hasn't happened today, but I'm having this awareness right now as I'm talking to you. That one could totally backfire. All right. The second thing is I'm like, sometimes do you feel like you're maybe experiencing some personal frustration, Og, when you're hungry? He's like, yeah, I could get a snack. I'm like, yes, okay. I think he's totally my husband's child on this one. If Jason is ever crabby, you just feed him a snack too. Okay, it works. Okay. So he's like snuggle, snack. Okay. I asked what else. We came up with 4 things. A snooze. Okay. Snuggle, snack, snooze. Okay. So I was like, if you need a snooze, right? Mom's in the office. You can go to your, like his bedroom's right there. Our bedroom's at the end. He always wants to go in our bedrooms because it gets dark. So snuggle, snack, snooze. and then some like personal time, like time to himself. So those are the 4 things that we came up with. So now even 4 things is a lot for a 4-year-old, but it's starting to, for him, you guys, for him to be able to evaluate, like, so now I have to use words like, I can't be like, dude, you're crabby. Why are you so crabby? Now, don't, you guys, my tolerance was so low on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You better bet I wanted to say that. I just didn't say those words. Now, I was not a level 10 mom. Let's say that. I'm super clear as well. But I'm starting to identify like, okay, what is the language that I might show up and use with him? Now, you guys, this works with any human being, not any 4-year-old. Like, you probably shouldn't say to your spouse, why are you so crabby? What's wrong with you today? Okay. Do you have a problem? Like, I'm just here to share with you. Those are probably not the best appropriate ways if you're trying to encourage joyfulness and happiness in another human being, right? So I'd be like, are you feeling like something's frustrating, or is there something you want to share with me? Or, is something going on right now that maybe are, like one of your 4 things that you could do to feel more happy or feel more joyful might help. Yeah. Oh, snuggle, snack, snooze, self-time. Yes, Sean, snuggle. I was like trying to think of a 4S. Okay, snuggle, snack, snooze. Like, I mean, could we all use that? I don't know. Snuggle, snack, snooze. I could use some self-time. Y'all use some self-time? Okay, so those are the 4 things. So it's going really well today. Okay, so but Lauren just messages me. She goes, okay, I've had enough. I just canceled school the rest of the day. We're swimming. I go, oh, I'm sure my little man is very joyful. And she's like, very joyful. Now, she's like, but quite honestly, Amber, he's been joyful all day. I'm like, okay, awesome, right? So it's like, we identified what it feels like to not be joyful, okay? Poor little sweet pea doesn't know how to fix it, right? He's like, I just don't know how to do it, right? So like, let's have a chat. No, he's 4.5. The chat can't be 15 minutes. It's got to be pretty short, okay? So then we identify a few things that maybe he can self-correct, okay? But I'll have to constantly like remind him or support him so that he can start making those internal adjustments. Now, let me just say, as adults, you guys, there's definitely a difference between happiness and joyfulness if you like, do the research between happiness and joyfulness. So happy is like, oh, I'm so happy I got a birthday present, right? I'm so happy it's Friday, I get to over pizza, right? I don't know. I'm so happy it's Christmas. Like, it's an event. Does that make sense? Usually you're happy because of an event. Joyfulness, you guys, is like an overall state of being. You're just like a joyful human. Does that make sense? Or you experience joy, or you find joy in things, or you like look at planet Earth and you just like experience joy in the observing of, human life. So I get joy is more like a state of being, or there's like a presence about certain people, like, joyful people, right? There's like this joyful all the time. But happiness is more like, it's more like an event. Okay, now I'm certainly not having that conversation with a 4-year-old. I'm just kind of saying that to you guys to remind, you and me that there is a difference between the two. But in the meantime, if you have kiddos at home, oh my gosh, you guys, I'm just saying, I just talked to my friend Nick. I was like, okay, I don't know. I'm doing the best I can. I know parents are doing the best they can. We have this school structure and system to the best that we can. And it is what it is, you guys. We're all doing the best that we can to support our friends, our family, our communities, our planet Earth in this really interesting time. So give yourself a break, right? Find a way to create some happiness tonight. I don't know, find a fun movie or an inspiring movie on Netflix, right? Maybe for Earth Week. Okay, bye guys.